Find us online at
Get all your sports action with Tanner Barth on WWAY.
Let's get things started with our full court press matchup of the week.
From the full court press to the fifth quarter and everything in between.
And they say if some is good, more is better this time.
We've got your sports world covered all around the Cape Fear.
Check out the save from the captain. Full extension.
This is the place for your sports coverage. WWAY.
Teachers and parents, the North Carolina Symphony is here to support you as you carry on the education of your children and students. Take your kids on a free virtual field trip to the Symphony with a virtual education concert and companion student book. Go on a virtual journey to learn what makes music music with music by William Grant Still, Beethoven, Brahms, and more. Access the free video and student book with password 1932 at ncsymphony.org/virtual.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. Governor Roy Cooper has signed 11 new bills into law, including one addressing sexual assault. The bill requires DNA samples to be taken from anyone convicted of a sexual assault and domestic violence offenses, those found not guilty by reason of insanity, and even those found guilty but spending no time behind bars. The law goes into effect December 1st. Cooper also signed a law making sweeping changes to alcohol laws some bar owners have found burdensome. Effective immediately, customers who go to bars that don't serve food no longer have to hand over their contact information to the business. Previously, state law had required patrons of such private bars to become members to drink there, forcing them to disclose their contact information. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says several people in Brunswick County paid a man thousands of dollars to represent them in court with no results, and now he's under arrest. 35-year-old John James of Murrells Inlet is accused of misrepresenting himself in North and South Carolina. James reportedly is not a licensed attorney in either state. He currently has several outstanding warrants in Brunswick County for obtaining property by false pretense and practicing law without a license. And an insect causing problems in the northeastern part of the U.S. now spotted here in the Tar Heel State. It's called the spotted lanternfly. The Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services says spotted lanternflies have been located in the Kernersville area, just east of Winston-Salem. The insect from China feeds on more than 100 species of plants, which includes grapevines, fruit trees, and hop plants. Invasive species scientist Dr. Kelly Oaten says growers in the Cape Fear region should be concerned. Oaten says the insect is attracted to water. Anyone who sees a spotted lanternfly should take a picture to report it, then kill it right away. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for a bit of an unsettled evening in the Cape Fear with a round of scattered showers and heavier downpours pushing into the region as well. Temperature-wise, not going to be as hot as it was yesterday, but still going to be hot nonetheless. We'll get into the lower 90s away from the coast. Upper 80s for the coastal areas later today, and the chances for rain and storms start to increase later into the afternoon and the evening hours. Heavy downpours, some lightning, and the potential for some gusty winds all on the cards for severe weather later this evening. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
The Wilmington Cape Fear Home Builders Association serves as the advocate for the building industry, advancing professionalism and promoting community involvement. We are a positive force for responsible growth while protecting property rights and the privilege of home ownership. 3 out of every 5 jobs is touched in some manner by construction in our region. Growth generates jobs, maintains our property values, and builds and updates our infrastructure. Join us Friday mornings for the Construction Connection with the Wilmington Cape Fear Home Builders Association and the Big Talker FM.
Folks, the sad truth of it is most of what we're seeing in the news cycle is just noise, and it's recycled noise at that. Nothing informative, nothing that actually helps us discern the times that we live in. That's why we started doing Heard Tell. Every morning right here on Big Talker Network, 7 a.m. with a replay at 3 p.m., we talk and discuss the issues of the day, culture and politics with knowledgeable guests, no yelling, no caterwauling, just grown folk talk about the issues that matter. Join me, Andrew Donaldson, every weekday morning for Heard Tell.
I am State Farm Agent Rob Renz, and I want to help you get to a better place. Visit us online at ilminsurance.com. That's ILM Insurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad on this wicked and crazy Friday morning. Please visit the website, bigtalker.live. Download the app for Android and iOS devices so you can take the Big Talker anywhere and everywhere you want to be just by pairing it through Bluetooth with your car's entertainment system. There's also an email link that you can send us any comments, questions, concerns, critiques, or compliments. We can't improve without your help. Hey, so let's get out some bingo cards. Oh, hey, no. We're not doing that, ladies and gentlemen. No. Stop that. We need to get out our bingo cards. If you had TK's computer freaking out for June, July, or August, you win a donut, which I'm guessing is in your refrigerator. No. I'm trying to segue into a story, and I don't do that very well, but coming out of Forbes.com. Huh. Get away from me. All right. Oh, well, never mind. I was going to read a story by Forbes, but they've locked it up, so they don't get to. Oh, man. I think I can make jokes out of this one without offending too many people. Let's see what happens. All right, WYMT Mountain News, which is interesting because the story's out of Jacksonville, Florida, but I think WJAX Fox staff, but the Eastern Kentucky is the one who picked up the story that I'm reading it from. But anyway, man accused of killing neighbor's rooster claims self-defense. That's right. A Florida man spent a month in jail on accusations he killed his neighbor's pet rooster. He claims the rooster was a menace in the neighborhood and attacked him. I have had personal experiences with rooster, and yes, I totally believe the man. James Nix Jr. hit his neighbor's pet rooster, Big Roo, with a stick in a May incident. He says the rooster followed and attacked him, so he was trying to get the animal away. Its neck flares up, and he's doing his thing, and he's trying to jump up at me, Nick said. So I'm defending myself. I was fearing for my safety, and the chicken died. Nick says the death was an accident. I didn't know how to give it a 21 gun salute, Nick said. CPR, mouth-to-mouth, or call the chicken ambulance? His neighbor, Jason I'm going to mess this up, DeFelici, I don't know, reported the incident to authorities. He believes Nick killed Big Roo on purpose. Big Roo. Next thing you know, he calls the chicken police on me, Nick said. Nick went to jail on animal cruelty charges in June. He says he never should have been arrested. Chickens dying every day. People at churches, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Really, he said. The neighbors disagree about the rooster's behavior. DeFelici says he was not informed of any incidents, but Nick says he told him when it attacked his dad. DeFelici also said the neighborhood kids like to play with the rooster by throwing rocks, while Nick says they were trying to keep the animal away. Why do you think they were throwing rocks? If you've ever been around a rooster, they are not human-friendly animals. I mean, they might get along with their little roost or whatever, but no, they're aggressive little bastards. And at least in Wilmington, they are not allowed in the city limits with good reason. I mean, I do a lot of night gigs, and the person, or I should say the group of families, it was very interesting, and I'm not sure still how I feel about it, but apparently there were far too many people in that house, and they were trying to raise their own food, including having a rooster, actually two, and a whole bunch of chickens in their backyards, and After a couple of days of, hey, come on, you're not supposed to have a rooster. And of course, in broken English, they came back at me with mind my own business kind of thing. And I'm like, I said, all right, you're not going to listen to me. I called animal control and asked them, hey, directly, are roosters allowed inside city limits? No. Do you know of one? Oh, yeah. I know of two. And when I get home at 1 o'clock in the morning and this thing starts going off at 5, nah, man, that ain't going to fly. Your alarm clock is not my problem. Needless to say, that house had to be renovated and is now being rented to another family unit. I have since left that neighborhood. But holy cow. That was brutal. That was a couple of months of trying to, get somebody to pay attention to why are there roosters. And, yeah, they jump on the fence and, come after me while I'm trying to... We used to have a little fire pit in the backyard, and we would smoke our dinner, right? You wrap it in aluminum foil, make a little fire, smolder it, and then cap it so that it just sits there and cooks your food while smoking it. And, oh, yeah, he'd come after us. Pain in the butt. I hope he found a new home. I hope he's safe now. Oh my goodness. Wait, let me check this email. Oh, it's a casting call. Coming from the Independent. Oh, this is awesome. I should respond to this. Too large for love. Casting call looking to find people with very large penises for new documentary. The documentary will explore the positives and negatives of being well endowed. I could get behind this. A casting call has been released for a documentary called Too Large for Love about people with exceptionally large penises. The advert, which was posted on the casting website Lost in TV, is seeking participants over the age of 18 of any sexuality or ethnicity who have a large penis. And they have a little, they even have a little form to fill out here. This is pretty awesome. The show will be created by production company Spun Gold, who make the Real Full Monty shows for ITV, as well as Love Your Garden series, and documentaries such as Britain's Most Luxurious Hotels and My First Threesome. The advert reads, a recent survey found that nearly half of the male population wish they had a bigger penis. So, a bigger penis, a better life, right? Well, not always. A brand new documentary is to discuss the hidden problems of living with a very large penis, how it affects all aspects of life, including your sex life, and what help is out there for those in need. Spun Gold says they're looking to speak to people with both positive and negative experiences of having a large penis. The show will be the latest in a long line of sex-related shows on UK TV, joining the likes of Naked Attraction and Sex Box. In 2020, Channel 4 documentary Me and My Penis became the first program to show an erect penis on UK terrestrial television. So, progressive? Could be. But I find that to be, I don't know, encouraging that, that they sent me the, form. That's nice. Bizarro. So what it's like to be in UK right now? Boris is without a job, and they have TV shows that make us look rather, Oi. Oh, just to minimize human contact. This is awesome. So Las Vegas, Daily Star. Whatever, sure. Get away from me. Nothing to see here. Las Vegas hotels to offer first ever VR porn delivery robots as part of room service. Help is at hand for lonely hotel guests at Las Vegas resorts Thanks to a new VR porn delivery robot, it brings a sanitized headset with the latest immersive adult movies direct to your room. Guests at Las Vegas hotels will soon be able to order VR porn kits on room service thanks to a new delivery robot. Why would you give a person this to, never mind. VR Bangers says it has teamed up with a number of Vegas hotels to offer virtual reality porn as room service. Discreet delivery robots will rock up to hotels and sneakily deliver a VR porn box featuring an Oculus Quest 2 headset preloaded with the company's latest adult flicks. The service costs $49.99 per day and includes a fully sanitized set of goggles. The company says it currently has a fleet of 5 VR porn robots deployed across Las Vegas with many more on the way, provided they can get chips. Oh man, you could just slap some stickers on that little guy. It looks like, if anybody ever played with Lego Technics, that's what it looks like. So, the company decided to start using robots after a number of hotels turned down its offer of VR porn headsets. Yeah, I get it. That's just, you don't want to send your porter, right? It's like, what, are you going to tip him? That's got to be worse than sock money. Daniel Abramovich, CEO of VR Bangers, said some hotels don't want to be associated with porn even though they show 18-plus movies on their hotel TV, which is hypocrisy because what's the difference, right? Well, human interaction. The idea to use robots is simply flawless, and it changed everything. Hotel rooms no longer have to store our VR porn. The service becomes completely voluntary, and you still can have your favorite VR sex scenes delivered right to your hotel room if you don't have your VR headset around. Ooh. Some of the VR porn is designed to replace the background of the films with that of your specific hotel room to offer viewers an even greater level of immersion. Wait, what? Oh, so it's like an augmented reality. Some of the VR porn is designed to replace the background of the films with that of your specific hotel room to offer viewers an even greater level of immersion. That's pretty scary. Sex is increasingly making it into virtual reality and the metaverse thanks to some saucy tech innovations. Isabella Urin, a sexpert at Bed Bible, believes sex in the metaverse could help people explore their sexualities safely. So did the Sears catalog women's section. But that's all that was around in 1974 for a young kid, Anyway, that's how I learned. It also helped that I had a doctor for a dad, but if ever you visit Las Vegas and get thrown out of a brothel, you now have a delivery robot that can help you out. It doesn't go with the other one. Maybe it'll help you get on that TV show, Too Large for Love. That's just... You believe that? That's... All right, so I'm not sure what this is. 101.5 KGB, the DSC show, iHeartRadio, something. Watch a drunk wedding guest nearly set venue on fire but keeps dancing. This guy set the wedding dance floor on fire, and apparently tipsy guests of an unnamed bride and groom got hold of celebration sparklers at their barnyard nuptials and nearly caused a massive blaze. Didn't stop him from having a good time, and while he tried at one point to put out the flames, he almost lit himself ablaze as well. Yeah, let's not do the sparklers. It's amazing. I mean, everything's fun until you add alcohol, and alcohol itself is flammable. So you're drinking a flammable liquid. Just putting it out there. Oh, boy, this seems to be a theme. This is quite the Friday. Coming out of New Jersey, News 12. Anybody going to take credit for it? No. Right? Normally they put your little byline there and let you know the closest. Nope, still can't get there. Headline is Police. South Jersey man arrested for naked crime spree in Obsicon. Obsicon. It's got to be that. I'm not from there. Take two. A man in South Jersey faces several charges after going on a naked crime spree late Friday night. Police say Michael Davis terrorized residents at the Absicon Townhomes and Clayton Mill Run apartment complex. Davis is accused of going into a car and forcing a teen to drive to the apartment complex. He went into several homes and assaulted multiple victims. Davis then led police on a foot chase before he was arrested. He faces charges for burglary, aggravated criminal sexual conduct, lewdness, and endangering the welfare of a child. So, bath salts? I mean, what else would send a person into this kind of wow? Boy, for being a cognizant species with opposable thumbs, we sure can't make it past the penis, can we? Tour de France workers have job to transform giant penis graffiti into butterflies. Can you believe this? This is coming out of Daily Star in the UK. 2 Tour de France workers have been tasked with using their artistic license and painting over the penises that vandals etched onto the course, turning the phallic shapes into butterflies. Man, 2 men have been given the bizarre job of painting over giant penises that have been etched on the Tour de France course by vandals. Images show 2 individuals wearing high-vis vests equipped with paint and a route map of the course as they began their efforts to remove the graffiti. With the event being televised, they cannot have such foul language on show, and so it's all hands on deck to try and get rid of the filth on the track. But they are doing their task in a rather ingenious war. Instead of merely brushing over the graphic design, they are changing them into different things. So from male genitalia has become an owl and butterfly. And the Tour de France organizers, named ASO, are putting great credence into making sure the event ticks over well. Typically, some 785,000 watch each stage of the event across Europe, with it televised on Eurosport alone. In the UK, coverage can also be found on ITV4. Favorite for the competition is Tadej Pogačar, a young Slovenian rider gunning for his 3rd consecutive title. Speaking to The Independent, the 23-year-old said that he does not much care for legacy. For me, honestly, the hardest part of racing is being away from your home so much. It's our passion and we live a good life, so I will not complain, but if you don't enjoy it anymore, the cycling life, if everything starts to bother you, then it's better if you just find something else that makes you happy. On Saturday, it was Fabio Jacobsen, who won Stage 2 of the Tour de France in Denmark. On his debut, the rider pipped Wout van Aert in Nyborg after a flat 202.5-kilometer rat from Roskilde. The winner has only been back in the sport for 15 months, having to take time off following a collision in 2020 in Poland. Man, that could be damaging. But it's a good thing, vandals, this is why we can't have anything nice. It's not your everyday paint job to have to cover up such, I find it interesting that they refer to it in such terms as foul language. But I get it. It's certainly offensive to 99% of the, it's only the 14-year-old kids and all the men who still have an active 14-year-old kid inside them, right, who can make stupid penis jokes. or still giggles when they hear somebody fart, especially if it's their own wife. Because that's funny. I don't care who you are. It is. Yeah. Look, it's not me, man. Look, I'm getting criticized here on my text thing about some of the subject. This, it's just a theme today. I got all of these news stories at once, and 7 of them are sex related. So I'm even saving one for after the break, which I'm going to go ahead and do right now because it's Friday and, you know, I can do that. So with that in mind, don't go nowheres. The Asylum, Your Refuge in a World Gone Mad will be right back right after these messages and the news break. See you in a minute.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. Governor Roy Cooper has signed 11 new bills into law, including one addressing sexual assault. The bill requires DNA samples to be taken from anyone convicted of a sexual assault and domestic violence offenses, those found not guilty by reason of insanity, and even those found guilty but spending no time behind bars. The law goes into effect December 1st. Cooper also signed a law making sweeping changes to alcohol laws some bar owners have found burdensome. Effective immediately, customers who go to bars that don't serve food no longer have to hand over their contact information to the business. Previously, state law had required patrons of such private bars to become members to drink there, forcing them to disclose their contact information. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says several people in Brunswick County paid a man thousands of dollars to represent them in court with no results, and now he's under arrest. 35-year-old John James of Murrells Inlet is accused of misrepresenting himself in North and South Carolina. James reportedly is not a licensed attorney in either state. He currently has several outstanding warrants in Brunswick County for obtaining property by false pretense and practicing law without a license. And an insect causing problems in the northeastern part of the U.S. now spotted here in the Tar Heel State. It's called the spotted lanternfly. The Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services says spotted lanternflies have been located in the Kernersville area, just east of Winston-Salem. The insect from China feeds on more than 100 species of plants, which includes grapevines, fruit trees, and hop plants. Invasive species scientist Dr. Kelly Oaten says growers in the Cape Fear region should be concerned. Oaten says the insect is attracted to water. Anyone who sees a spotted lanternfly should take a picture to report it, then kill it right away. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with your Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for a bit of an unsettled evening in the Cape Fear with around a scattered showers and heavier downpours pushing into the region as well. Temperature-wise, not going to be as hot as it was yesterday, but still going to be hot nonetheless. We'll get into the lower 90s away from the coast. Upper 80s for the coastal areas later today, and the chances for rain and storms start to increase later into the afternoon and the evening hours. Heavy downpours, some lightning, and the potential for some gusty winds all on the cards for severe weather later this evening. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by 2 Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to 2menandatruck.com. 2menandatruck.com.
Well, I never felt more like singing the blues, 'cause I never thought that I'd ever lose your love here. Why'd you do me this way?
MusicRewind.com presents the Nashville Hitmakers, a collection of 60 songs that helped inspire the Nashville sound movement in the 1950s.
She thinks I still care. Billy, Billy, Bio, watch where you go.
Order the Nashville Hitmakers at MusicRewind.com or call 855-798-5556 today and pay only $19.98. Plus, get reduced shipping. Just enter or mention promo code HITS55. Go to MusicRewind.com or call 855-798-5556. Remember HITS55 to save on shipping. This offer is available for a limited time to U.S. residents only and cannot be combined with any other offer.
Joining Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to the program whenever you want, however you want, by asking for Big Talker.
Welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. There it is. The drop. Can't miss the drop. Hey, visit the website for the Big Talker Network, bigtalker.live. You can peruse our schedule of content as well as, peruse. Enjoy any of the playbacks, right? You can get to any of our podcasts and videos just by your fingertips using the app for Android and iOS devices, which you can Bluetooth pair with your automotive entertainment system to take the Big Talker anywhere and everywhere you want to be. There's also an email link so you can send us any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, or critiques you may have, because we can't get better without your help. That's a fun track. I'm going to have to keep that one. All right. So as promised, I had a story I was holding back, sort of along the lines of a theme. This one's a little easier, not as harsh at 8:30 in the morning. Coming out of the New York Post, I love these guys. Ben Cost. Groom fooled by BFF in savage wedding prank planned by devious bride. Guys, if ever you needed, to know who the keeper is in your life, here's one way to tell. It was the Bride of Frankenstein. A California groom was left in stitches. Not hospital stitches, but he was left in stitches over an uproarious gag in which his best friend trolled him by masquerading as the bride at his wedding. A clip of the epic nuptial punking currently boasts over 588,000 views on TikTok. I don't get embarrassed, thankfully, Riverside Stephen Garlata, 26, told Jam Press of the prank, which occurred after he tied the knot with wife Lauren Bartoli, age 25, in April. Car salesman's best friend Austin Kuntz had decided to spring the spousal switcheroo during the traditional removing of the bridal garter. According to Garlotta, his buddy and his betrothed had been planning the matrimonial rickroll for a month. The resulting 1-minute clip shows the groom sitting blindfolded in a chair while, unbeknownst to him, his best bud, Kuntz, prances about in front of him in a bridal gown. Meanwhile, Garlotta's bride-to-be, Bartolia Barber, is seen standing on the side waiting for the hilarity to ensue. All of a sudden, Kuntz rolls up the dress to reveal his garter, whereupon Bartoli guides her oblivious future husband's hand to his leg. After touching what he thinks is his paramour, Garlotta uses his teeth to slip the garter off his cheeky pal's leg while the crowd goes wild. That is nuts. By the time he got to the sock point, though, I would think he had to know something was up. Upon hearing laughter, the groom removes the blindfold and then realizes he's been had and collapses into a fit of laughter. The clip concludes with Garlotta embracing the cosplaying prankster as onlookers erupt into cheers. Ha! Garlotta painted the side-splitting scene. Lauren said, "Put the blind on and sit there. I was confused and didn't know what was going on," the groom recalled. She originally told me she didn't want to do the garter toss because she's shy. So I said, "If you don't want You don't have to, which led to the groom's shock at the reception. I felt the dress moving next to me and was like, dang, she's getting into it, he said. When he asked how he couldn't tell that the bride wasn't Bartoli, Garlotta chalked it up to being a tad tipsy. He also learned later that Kuntz had spent 20 minutes shaving his leg in preparation for the prank. Fortunately, the groom is taking the gag in stride. My first thought was, oh my God, this is great. I know everybody thought it was funny. The TikTok was also in the TikTok talkers were also in stitches over the matrimonial masquerade, with one commenter exclaiming the look on his face. Close as F friend, said another. He didn't get mad. He started crying and laughter. One fan exclaimed, the dress looks so good on him. Okay, I'll leave that up to y'all. Apparently, the marital leg pulling marks the latest escalation in an ongoing prank war between Garlotta and his other half. I prank Lauren all the time, so I think this might have been her revenge prank, he said, vowing, I will be getting her back. In a far less successful stunt in April, a woman accidentally torpedoed her sister's big day by yelling, I object, in jest during the knot tying ceremony. Oh, no more on that one? Has anybody ever else been tempted to do that? Right? If anybody has any objections, oh yeah, I got some objections. There's not enough alcohol in the world for these two to get together. Anyway, this one by Sarah Bull, might as well open it up a little. The woman's prank at sister's wedding completely backfires. This was earlier. The story popped in May, though let's see, everyone always says how awkward it would be if someone was making an objection during a wedding ceremony, but one woman completely ignored that fact, as she decided to pull a prank on her sister's big day, and it all completely backfired. My 23-year-old sister... Oh. The quote is from a 23-year-old. Her sister is 4 years older, got engaged about 2 years ago. She wrote on Reddit's Am I the A-hole forum as she sought support that her joke was funny. I don't hate her. We were never the closest of sisters due to our age difference, but we didn't hate each other. Her fiancé, now husband, is a great man. I really am happy for them. So fast forward to the wedding ceremony. When the priest finally said, are there any objections? I stood up and said, I object, long pause, because this couple is way too cute for each other. I really just said it as a joke, but I thought something we could all laugh at. I thought it was something we could all laugh about at reception, but I could visibly see the color drain off my sister's face the moment I stood up. She said that her joke didn't really get any laughs, and her sister looked away, pretending that she didn't care, but I knew she probably did. I sat down, and the ceremony continued, she wrote. At the reception, I went to my sister and congratulated her, but she absolutely blew up. She told me my joke wasn't funny, and that I ruined her mood, her happiness, and her special day. I was shocked. Insisting that the prank wasn't even that big of a deal, she continued, I was joking, not actually objecting. I argued back with those points, and she just walked away from me. This morning, I woke up with tons of notifications from my family members saying that I'm the a-hole for doing that, but I think everyone was just overreacting. It was truly just a joke. So, am I the a-hole? However, while the woman was looking for people to back her up that she'd been funny with her actions, the majority of people argued that she'd been anything but. Way to cause a scene on their big day. How desperate for attention are you? One wrote. Oh, as a real-life minister added, minister here, it gets worse. Some places, if someone objects during the ceremony, you're required to stop and investigate, even if it's a joke. Kind of like an airplane bomb threat. Some officiants won't even continue the ceremony that day. OP could have literally derailed the whole wedding. Oi, the only way a bride is finding this funny is if you object during rehearsal walkthrough, not the actual flippin' wedding, a third comment. Can you believe that? Yeah, if you're going to do that, you have to plan it with something or add something to it. It's like, nah, not really an objection. They're way too cute for each other. What? Yeah, that one didn't go well. And I can imagine why. Now, this I don't understand. Maybe someone can help me unpack this. I think I lost my texting buddy. Where'd you go, pal? Yahoo Live. I didn't even know Yahoo existed. Nicholas Lee. Cinemas banned groups watching Minions: The Rise of Gru in formal attire. Why would you... Immediately following the release of Minions: The Rise of Gru, teens kicked off an interesting trend through social media. The Gentle Minions trend sees groups suit-clad teens documenting their viewings of the latest movie in the Despicable Me franchise on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Centered around an ironic love of the franchise, the viral trend has now forced some theaters in the UK to ban groups of guests wearing formal attire from watching the film. In other parts of the world, theaters have kicked viewers in anticipation of disruptive behavior. What's the deal? Clips on social media have now gained millions of views, and the trends seem to be growing as Minions: The Rise of Gru continues to dominate the box office. It is unclear if the ban will be adopted by theaters worldwide. This is a release from... It's a Twitter, or a something. I think it's a Twitter. I can't tell. Puberty? Whatever. Minions: The Rise of Gru landed in cinemas last month, with fans flocking to see Steve Carell's take on the young evil mastermind. But a new TikTok craze has seen some, mostly lads, wearing their most formal attire for the special occasion, calling themselves Gentle Minions. Videos of large groups heading into the cinema in shirts and ties have been doing the rounds on social media, with the Minions' official account even having to acknowledge it. However, it would seem that the joke has fallen fairly flat with cinema bosses who have banned those Gentle Minions from entering the premises. Why? Due to recent disturbances following the Gentle Minions trend, any group of guests in formal attire will be refused entry for showings of Minions: The Rise of Gru. Yeah, first comment. Should this article not tell us what type of disturbances these groups have been creating? Huh. Because, I mean, overall, you would think if they're showing up in a suit, they're probably not going to be throwing popcorn and making a mess. Unless they can afford a new suit or dry cleaning or whatever. Going a little further into that trend, they're calling it. I find that interesting. Minions fans are turning up to watch The Rise of Gru in suits. Here's what to know about the viral meme. Yeah. Minion fans are being banned from wearing suits to theaters as a result of a new TikTok meme. The trend began last week after the latest Despicable Me spin-off, Minions: The Rise of Gru, opened in theaters. Fans, especially teenage boys, proceeded to attend showings of the film in formal wear in large groups as part of an elaborate joke. Videos of the trend posted online on TikTok and Twitter show large groups walking up to theaters and cheering during the film. The meme, dubbed Gentle Minions, is not just limited to one country either, with videos shared by people in the UK, Australia, and Norway. No way. The trend has also received backlash from theaters and staff complaining about the mess left behind by the large groups. Well, I guess I was wrong there. Like most things in pop culture, the Minions, the yellow indestructible creatures that were first introduced in the 2010 movie Despicable Me, have gone the full circle from being hated to becoming an ironic meme. Most recently, an innocent Minion cult has surfaced on TikTok, but it is unclear whether these are the same people taking part in the Gentle Minions meme. Fans on Twitter and TikTok have been discussing wearing suits to watch The Rise of Gru as early as May. However, the idea came to fruition when Bill Hurst shared the first Gentle Minions video last week. The film premiered early in Australia, where Hurst and his friends live. Wow, by the weekend, several people followed suit, get it, pardon the pun, and posted their own versions of the trend. Even the official Minions TikTok account has shared a video encouraging fans to turn up in suits. Unfortunately, some fans have gone too far while taking part in a trend. Some videos have shown people disrupting screenings of Minions and partying in front of the screen while the movie was being played. Look, you do that for Rocky Horror. Not this. Theater staff has also certainly have a first release, right? If it's on its premiere run, leave it alone. Wait till it becomes like a midnight trend anyway. Theater staff have also complained on Twitter and TikTok about fans leaving huge messes and banana peels of fruit that the Minions particularly love in the movies. Whoops. Ooh, man, one of the workers, ooh, man, ooh. Oh, man. A little industrial language that I cannot share on American airwaves. I hope everyone, this is a TikTok quote from one of the people that's got to clean up the mess. I hope everyone who came to see the Minions in suits die. You're not funny. I hope all of you had the worst journey home. And then an explicative afterwards. Had this myself tonight, friendly reminder that most cinema workers get minimum wage and treated like poop every shift. We could really do without it. The rest of the screen was no different. Man. Yeah, y'all jerks. This is why we can't have nothing nice. A theater goer, Gil Dudds, shared a picture on Sunday of a sign outside her local Odeon theater in the UK, which said that groups of guests who show up in formal attire will be refused entry. The theater goer also claimed they saw a group of kids being turned away. Even the sign says, due to recent disturbances following the trend, any group of guests formal attire will be refused entry. Representative, due to a small number of incidents in our summary. Take 3. A representative for Odeon told Insider in a statement, due to a small number of incidents in our cinemas, that's a lot, over the weekend, we have had to restrict access in some circumstances. While some fans agree that the trend should be reined in, others have complained that theaters should not be turning away customers. Some have even compared the ban to George Orwell book 1984. So far, Universal Pictures and the Minions' social media handles have been supporting the trend. Gentle Minions has been compared to the Morbillions theme for the movie Morbius. Earlier this year, social media fans turned the Sony movie starring Jared Leto into a viral meme, joking that the movie was the best film ever and that it deserved multiple sequels. The big difference is that Minions: The Rise of Gru has been a box office hit so far, breaking the Independence Day record according to Forbes. Morbius, however, was considered a box office flop, especially after it was re-released in theaters in response to the viral meme. Film marketing people pulling their hair out trying to understand why the Morbius memes didn't translate into tickets, but the Minions memes did. Streets turned us despicable, but our money still grew. Gross. That's just... Can you believe that? Destroying an entire movie theater over those little things. I mean, I get it. Every time, I mean, have you ever done this, like, right, when you leave a movie theater, you feel like the action star. There's even an article about it where most people are like, yeah, I could take them on. I could be an action hero. I could do that. I could do that. And I think it was Scarlett Johansson in one of the Avenger movie DVD extras where they were talking about the training necessary, you know, that they all went through. And they're like, yeah, anybody can do this. She was responding sort of to that anyone can do what you guys are doing with stunt folk. She's like, oh no, we were up at 5:30 in the morning and having our high protein breakfast and then working out for like 8 hours, and it was brutal. No, I don't think any average human being can do that, but believe what you want, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's Friday. We're gonna coast a little bit here, take the break a little early, refresh my coffee, that sort of thing. And while I'm doing that, you are going to enjoy these words of wisdom from WAY News and Weather, as well as some sponsors to whom I hope you would call and say, hey, thanks for sponsoring the Big Talker and that crazy dude on the Asylum. And with that in mind, the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, will be right back. Oh yeah, while all that's happening, you should be perusing the website known as bigtalker.live. Send us an email. You're tuned in to the Big Talker Network, Wilmington, North Carolina's premier internet station for news and talk radio programming. Find us online at bigtalker.live.
Teachers and parents, the North Carolina Symphony is here to support you as you carry on the education of your children and students. Take your kids on a free virtual field trip to the Symphony with a virtual education concert and companion student book. Go on a virtual journey to learn what makes music music, with music by William Grant Still, Beethoven, Brahms, and more. Access the free video and student book with password 1932 at ncsymphony.org/virtual.
Folks, the sad truth of it is most of what we're seeing in the news cycle is just noise, and it's recycled noise at that. Nothing informative, nothing that actually helps us discern the times that we live in. That's why we started doing Heard Tell. Every morning right here on Big Talker Network, 7 a.m. with a replay at 3 p.m., we talk and discuss the issues of the day, culture and politics with knowledgeable guests, no yelling, no caterwauling, just grown folk talk about the issues that matter. Join me, Andrew Donaldson, every weekday morning for Heard Tell.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. Governor Roy Cooper has signed 11 new bills into law, including one addressing sexual assault. The bill requires DNA samples to be taken from anyone convicted of a sexual assault and domestic violence offenses, those found not guilty by reason of insanity, and even those found guilty but spending no time behind bars. The law goes into effect December 1st. Cooper also signed a law making sweeping changes to alcohol laws some bar owners have found burdensome. Effective immediately, customers who go to bars that don't serve food no longer have to hand over their contact information to the business. Previously, state law had required patrons of such private bars to become members to drink there, forcing them to disclose their contact information. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says several people in Brunswick County paid a man thousands of dollars to represent them in court with no results, and now he's under arrest. 35-year-old John James of Murrells Inlet is accused of misrepresenting himself in North and South Carolina. James reportedly is not a licensed attorney in either state. He currently has several outstanding warrants in Brunswick County for obtaining property by false pretense and practicing law without a license. And an insect causing problems in the northeastern part of the U.S. now spotted here in the Tar Heel State. It's called the spotted lanternfly. The Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services says spotted lanternflies have been located in the Kernersville area, just east of Winston-Salem. The insect from China feeds on more than 100 species of plants, which includes grapevines, fruit trees, and hop plants. Invasive species scientist Dr. Kelly Oaten says growers in the Cape Fear region should be concerned. Oaten says the insect is attracted to water. Anyone who sees a spotted lanternfly should take a picture to report it, then kill it right away. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for a bit of an unsettled evening in the Cape Fear with around a scattered showers and heavier downpours pushing into the region as well. Temperature-wise, not going to be as hot as it was yesterday, but still going to be hot nonetheless. We'll get into the lower 90s away from the coast. Upper 80s for the coastal areas later today, and the chances for rain and storms start to increase later into the afternoon and the evening hours. Heavy downpours, some lightning, and the potential for some gusty winds all on the cards for severe weather later this evening. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
Folks, you must visit Angie's Fresh Produce, 4447 Long Beach Road, Southport. Beautiful fresh produce at a great price. Angie's has just about every vegetable you want. In-store shopping and pickup, and all wheelchair accessible. Call Angie's Fresh Produce at 910-477-9068.
Folks, we all know ongoing road construction and traffic can weigh heavy on your vehicle. Since 2006, O'Leary's Automotive Repair has provided comprehensive repair services at affordable prices to get you back on the road in no time. Their ASE certified technicians will help you find a cost-effective repair and maintenance alternatives. O'Leary's has multiple locations in the area in Hampstead, Leland, the Myrtle Grove area, Ogden, and Wrightsboro. O'Leary's Automotive Repair, a trusted, locally owned business since 2006.
Join Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
Hey, welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, right here on the Big Talker Network. Please visit the website, bigtalker.live. Download the app for Android and iOS devices, Bluetooth paired with your automotive entertainment system by way of Bluetooth, and you can take the Big Talker anywhere and everywhere you want to be. That one's shorter than I thought. Well, I guess I have to pay the extra $1 to get the extra 30 seconds. I don't know what that's about. Still trying to unpack some of this, apparently, Britain or UK handles television considerably different than we do. And hopefully we can get more information about that with some friends who have been there. Because apparently you pay a tax on each television you have. I'm not sure how their cable television works, but for them to run terrestrial television with that type of material, woo! Huh. Oh, wait a minute. No. This could not happen. No. No, this couldn't happen. Not in Florida. No. Sorry, I have a little bit of coffee issue here. Give me a moment. All right. Smoking gun coming with this one. Extortion rap for woman over OnlyFans pics. Cops say Floridians threaten to send your nudes everywhere. July 6, in a bid to recoup a $45 debt from a former girlfriend, a Florida woman allegedly copied images from her ex's OnlyFans page and threatened to send the nude photographs to the victim's mother and grandmother, according to an extortion complaint. Investigators say Eliza Jean Limite, 24 years old, was in a romantic relationship with the victim and in the very early stages of dating when she threatened to disseminate her nude images, if not paid $45. Limit, cops charge, went to the victim's OnlyFans page and screenshotted the nude images and saved them to her camera roll without authorization. Limit then texted one of the nude images to a third party and sent this proof of dissemination to the victim. In a subsequent text to the victim, Limit allegedly demanded the 45 you owe me or else she would send your nudes everywhere, and yes, I have them all. Maybe mom would want to see them, or grandma. Limit was arrested Sunday on felony extortion charges. She subsequently was released from the county jail after posting $10,000 bond on the felony count. According to online profiles, Limit graduated from the University of Tampa, Florida, criminology degree. And works as a legal assistant, maybe not anymore, at a Tampa law firm. She also operates an online business selling Zen candles, crystals, and art. Whoops. That one didn't quite go so well. Isn't that awesome? Whoops. Amazing. We are an unavoidable species. That's why we can't have anything nice. I mean, look what they did to the Tour de France, for goodness sake. I mean, why would you do that to the roadway? Sorry, I'm scanning through news, and there's some that it's horrible, and other people are covering it better than I ever could, which is why I'm not going to touch it. There's a lot of this that I don't want to, because some of it is just, Now this one, man. Outer Banks stand-in, if you remember this, in a double hit and run. Family offered support from cast and crew, but Red Cross donations most appreciated. The amount of support for Outer Banks stand-in Alexander A.J. Jennings has been massive since his untimely death, but his family says the best way to honor him would be to donate some cash to a charity. Eugene Jennings, Alex's mother, tells TMZ they've been offered help for funeral costs from Outer Banks cast and crew members, but she thinks a donation to the Red Cross would make more sense, given the deep ties he has with the organization, and it's not just his CPR and lifeguard certifications. Alex, who stood in for Chase Stokes on the Netflix series, was born in Russia and was adopted from an orphanage when he was 18 months old. He was proud of his heritage up until Russia's invasion of Ukraine, something he found extremely upsetting. Being a 22-year-old actor, Alex didn't always have the means to make financial contributions of his own, but his family would often send money to the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. The fund assists people leaving Ukraine with shelter, basic aid items, and medical supplies. Alex's family is asking those wanting to show support for the late actor to help the refugees by chipping in to the IFRC instead. As we reported, Alex was struck and killed by two vehicles early Tuesday morning in Charleston, both of which fled the scene. According to preliminary reports, he was walking along the main thoroughfare between James Island and Foley Beach when he was hit. The first vehicle left him for dead. Not long after that, he was apparently hit by a second vehicle that also split. This is why we can't have anything nice. I've never known about these people and don't care about them. So how did they make news? whatever. So that's the way it is right now. I mean, there's a lot of the news. It gets heavier, and I need smarter people to join me for that. And unfortunately, it looks like this is a Friday that everybody's off to the beach somewhere, trying to get in some sun before the storms come back and drown us all, drench us. I mean, I appreciate the car wash, I really do. But it was pretty intense there for a while. Some of the winds blew our trampoline over into the neighbor's yard. I still got some more trash to clean up in the front yard after the show, and I better get it done before the afternoon. It looks like we're gonna have some storms coming back. I don't know if this is left over from whatever the didn't we have a tropical storm go by? I think so. I don't like the new app. Apple changed up some stuff on the iPhone, and I'm not pleased with how they done it, because it's just not working out too nice. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. But seeing as how it's already 80 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning with a humidity of what is our humidity? I missed that. Show me. 84% with a dew point of 75. Oi. The air is almost saturated. You can almost like drink the air at this point. I mean, if you feel like a fish, don't be surprised. That's one of the things about being in a desert, that even though it was a high desert, or the plains, where Bonanza was filmed, if you can think of that type of environment, that's where I grew up, which was, rather dry and pretty high up in the mountains. I mean, Denver claims being mile high. When my mom remarried, we moved from just below the mile high mark to just above the mile high mark. You might say we were moving on up. Sorry. I don't have much left at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday. There's so much other crazy stuff going on that it's just impossible to stay away from it. Wait. Some of this I don't understand at all. So one of my least favorite people on the planet, Bam Margera, parties his face off after bailing on rehab. This is what happens when you make stupid people famous. Bam Margera seemingly fell off the wagon after bouncing from a treatment center. Video shows him partying with a group of men while police and his family were desperately looking for him. After Bam vanished from a Florida rehab facility on June 25th, we're told he met up with some folks at a sports bar Saturday in Pompano Beach and had a couple of alcoholic drinks. Yeah, this is just a couple days ago. Come on now. Get off of me. I don't want to see that. Stop it. Can't make it go away. Cannot make it go away. Let's see. One of the people who say they were hanging with Bam tells us the Jackass star then asked to be taken to a hospital for an injured wrist And the person says he drove Bam to the hospital and took a pic of him on the hospital bed on Bam's orders. We're told Bam later left the hospital and went to a strip club in Pompano Beach. Though Bam told people around him to keep the dancers away from him because he loves his wife and kid. After the strip club, we're told Bam went to a friend's house, and you can see in our video he appears to lose consciousness before coming back around. A couple of hours later, Bam was picked up by another friend. TMZ broke the story. Bam was found on June 27th at a hotel in Deerfield Beach where police and his family staged an intervention before he agreed to check in to a new treatment center. Whoops. Yeah, the video that just kept playing and I couldn't turn it off was that's why we can't have anything nice. Huh. Well. So many. No. There's so many of these I cannot read because they just don't fit. You guys were doing so well. I mean, you can read about James Caan anywhere. The man was a monster of an actor. Lot of shows. Oh. Well, here's a little 1A action for you. Macy Gray says today the show wouldn't let keyboardists wear a free Brittany Griner shirt. Believe that? Macy Gray's performance on the Today Show was supposed to include a Brittany Griner protest, but the singer and her keyboardist says network honchos wouldn't let it happen. Billy West arrived at NBC Studios in New York City on Thursday morning rocking a black t-shirt with bold white letters reading Free Brittany Griner, but when he was on air, the message was mysteriously hidden. We asked Millie. We asked Millie what happened after the show, and he told Millie, yeah. Today, honchos told him he couldn't wear the shirt and made him turn it inside out. Macy stopped to talk to us, saying Brittany's situation is really a sad one, and says the plan was for West to wear the shirt. Millie wouldn't tell our camera what explanation he was given as to why he couldn't wear the shirt on air, but you can tell he was bummed out. As we reported, Brittany pled guilty in Russian court to drug possession and smuggling charges on the heels of President Biden saying he was ramping up efforts to secure her release. Macy also sat down for interviews with Hoda Kotb on top of performing her new song every night, addressing her recent controversial comments to Piers Morgan about trans people. More on that. Huh. Takes you absolutely nowhere. Well. I'm looking for it. Really, I am. But I'm not seeing it. No, we got doctors. We got all kind of crazy stuff going everywhere. Well, you do what you can with what you got, but holy cow, not a lot happening there. A lot of stuff we don't have to deal with. I don't know why. All right, no. I'm. Yeah, I'm just flailing over here, ladies and gentlemen. So I understand. Wait a minute. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe you do. Army Hammer? A regular in Cayman Resort offices. Army Hammer seems to have himself a little side gig in the Cayman Islands, or at least he's spending a bunch of time at a resort giving tours, according to a witness. Huh. We'll find out about him here in just a moment. The photo shows the actor in a light blue polo and blue pants looking very much like a staffer as he walks into one of the resort offices. Maybe this is what they consider community service over there. Now, according to a timeshare resident, Army's been in the office several hours a day and is often seen going outside for smoking breaks. As you might have heard about the flyer that popped up on Twitter Wednesday, it has Army's face and says he's a personal concierge to incoming tourists. AH has laughed off the flyers and says it's not legit. While that might be, the witness claims he did show at least one family around a timeshare on the resort property. TMZ's also confirmed Army has a friend who works at the resort, so it's possible he's just helping out a buddy or simply doing something to fill his time. Either way, the guy seems to be fully settled into island life. He moved to Cayman during the pandemic and had been quarantining there with his 2 children and now ex-wife Elizabeth. The couple had filed for divorce in July 2020, and while Elizabeth left with their kids, Army's remained on the Caribbean island. Army's rep tells TMZ, yes, he does hang out at the resort and has a friend there. As for showing potential buyers timeshares, the rep reached out to Army but did not hear back. So, apparently, Army has been accused of rape, and I mean, I don't know what's, and also being a drunken whatever. So, checks into an rehab facility last June, a little over a year ago. Man. Oi. Okay, so this is we got some crazy people on this planet, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can tell you. So, let's see what happened way back when. Roll up the time machine. Uh-oh. Whew, my sinuses do not adjust to this change in pressure and humidity levels very well. Woo! 1099, First Crusade, 15,000 starving Christian soldiers march in religious procession around Jerusalem as its Muslim defenders look on. In 1497, Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama departs on his first voyage, will become the first European to reach India by sea. 1777, independent Vermont introduces a new constitution prohibiting slavery. 1800, Dr. Benjamin Waterhouse gives first cowpox vaccination in the U.S. to his son to prevent smallpox. And in 1853, Commodore Matthew Perry sails his frigate Susquehanna into Tokyo Bay, opening Japan to Western influence and trade. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we brought blue jeans to Japan. Designer jeans. Jordache. I don't even know all the designer brands that are out there now. And of course, with the way the economy is going, it's almost certain that more of these folks are going to be buying less of the branded stuff just to get by. In fact, you know, I'm sure the conversation in some of the households will be, honey, we don't have that much money. How many purses do you think you need? Right? And I get it. A purse is a fashion accessory that goes with this, that, and the other thing. I'm glad I can just shove the crap in my pockets and go. But as many women will tell you, that's been a conspiracy of men around the world, that many of the women's designs do not have pockets. Which is why the purse was created. They needed something to carry their stuff, right? And in some cases, it makes more sense. If you carry around, you know, gum or M&Ms in your pocket, you're going to have a mess. But if you've got a purse, right? But a man's not going to wear a purse. And they came out with fanny packs. Whoops. I saw a promotional shot of the Barbie movie. I don't know anything about it. But the promo was just day glow pink and green. And fanny packs. Day glow fanny packs. I think his was the green. But they both sported pink and green with the opposite color accents. And oh my God, the size of those rollerblades was amazing. And I think they were actually roller skates. I'm not sure. It wasn't even that cool. It was mind-bending. How do you get away with that? And of course, the proportions were off still, right? Because the Barbie doll has quite the unrealistic human form proportions for its size. Huh. Up and coming little young musician. You gotta love this point in their life, right? They're actually choosing their instruments. And I like that this one is choosing a support instrument, right? It's one of my favorites. I mean, I grew up playing cello. That was my first official performance instrument. Playing bass. You learn about support. You learn how to anticipate. You learn how to be a part of an entire moving system and how to keep that system moving, how to support what's going on in front. And there are many times I've run into people who, while they are the front person or the star, if you will, of the show, that's only during the show. Once they step off the stage, they know they are just as normal as anybody else with socks and shoes and hair care products of preference. That while they have a talent, that talent belongs there on the stage and they leave it there. They put it all out there when they're out there, and when they get off, they're just a regular guy. Give me a beer, I need to lay down. Most of them, it swells their head to the point of incomprehensible entitlement, that because of their talent that they are entitled to be treated or, I don't know, considered better than other people. These people, as it seems, still have something left to prove. Whereas people who come from the support side don't need to prove anything. They just need to do whatever needs to be done. Whether it's sweeping the floor or, you know, plugging the stuff in or packing it out or making sure the guitar player gets home safe. Right? And I do both now. I mean, it's gotten to the point, and it took some work. It took a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of practice to get to the point that people are calling me not just for bass work, but for guitar work. And there are a million guitar players out there. There are far more guitar players than bass players because everybody wants to be the lead, flashy, wheedly guy. Nobody wants to be the mundane, in the background, holding it together, support guy. Right? And what's interesting is among a lot of the bass players that I know, they end up with a lot of knowledge and skill set developed in parallel with music. And they are also support roles, whether it's teaching, recording, teching, running sound, PA, whatever. They have a better understanding of what it's like to keep the machine running, the support necessary, right? It's almost like maintenance on your vehicle. Somebody needs to be there, right? So that if the star of the show does get absolutely hammered and has no idea where he is, that somebody can keep the machine rolling forward. And I think if we had a greater understanding of what support is, we would have a better understanding of how our government can work in a more efficient, functional way. Because right now, everybody wants to be a standout. Everybody wants to be unique, right? I mean, some of the craziest people in our representative government at the state and federal level are just doing this to be outlandish. They're doing this so that you'll remember their name. They're doing this for the attention. They're not doing this because it's what the people want. Getting the work done is boring, right? The actual proceedings in Congress and the Senate is boring as it can be because of how it's structured, the sanctity of the moment, sacred, whatever, and the way things are worded and written, and the procedures, right, where you have to yield this and do that. Is, the only thing, thank God, in America is that we don't wear those stupid wigs. I'm glad at some points that somebody just said, "Nah, I'm not doing this anymore." You can stop me at wearing a ball cap when going into a city council meeting or whatever, but I'm not, not wearing a wig. I'm glad our judges don't do that. That just looks so ridiculous. It's almost like make-believe cosplay that, we're going to pretend. No, man. The black robe I get. It's supposed to be kind of intimidating, but yeah, show your face, Show who you are. I'm not saying that the wig hides your face, but that whole... why? What was that about? One of those traditions. What? Because the bald guy who was a judge, who happened to be bald, got laughed at for being bald by probably a 5-year-old, and he took it to heart and determined that from that day forward, everyone must wear a wig when in court. I don't know. But that's how some of our laws are made, it seems. I mean, my God, we're out of control. But yes, I would digress and let you know that the support role is not being encouraged. And to know that this young lady has chosen voluntarily the bass, which is a definite support instrument, is encouraging. It lets me know there's hope. All right. Some of these tracks are so dope. This one may not be. Is it? Oh, hit it. All right, I'll forgive you. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, after the news, weather, and some sponsors that help keep us on the air. So please, don't go nowhere.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. Governor Roy Cooper has signed 11 new bills into law, including one addressing sexual assault. The bill requires DNA samples to be taken from anyone convicted of a sexual assault and domestic violence offenses. those found not guilty by reason of insanity, and even those found guilty but spending no time behind bars. The law goes into effect December 1st. Cooper also signed a law making sweeping changes to alcohol laws some bar owners have found burdensome. Effective immediately, customers who go to bars that don't serve food no longer have to hand over their contact information to the business. Previously, state law had required patrons of such private bars to become members to drink there, forcing them to disclose their contact information. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says several people in Brunswick County paid a man thousands of dollars to represent them in court with no results, and now he's under arrest. 35-year-old John James of Murrells Inlet is accused of misrepresenting himself in North and South Carolina. James reportedly is not a licensed attorney in either state. He currently has several outstanding warrants in Brunswick County for obtaining property by false pretense and practicing law without a license. And an insect causing problems in the northeastern part of the U.S. now spotted here in the Tar Heel State. It's called the spotted lanternfly. The Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services says spotted lanternflies have been located in the Kernersville area, just east of Winston-Salem. The insect from China feeds on more than 100 species of plants, which includes grapevines, fruit trees, and hop plants. Invasive species scientist Dr. Kelly Oaten says growers in the Cape Fear region should be concerned. Oaten says the insect is attracted to water. Anyone who sees a spotted lanternfly should take a picture to report it, then kill it right away. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with the Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for a bit of an unsettled evening in the Cape Fear with around a scattered showers and heavier downpours pushing into the region as well. Temperature-wise, not going to be as hot as it was yesterday, but still going to be hot nonetheless. We'll get into the lower 90s away from the coast. Upper 80s for the coastal areas later today, and the chances for rain and storms start to increase later into the afternoon and the evening hours. Heavy downpours, some lightning, and the potential for some gusty winds all on the cards for severe weather later this evening. Get your full forecast on WWAY and WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, located at 8210 River Road, Southport, is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, with the Tackle Box open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6. Marine Service Pro is a full Suzuki and Tohatsu dealership. They deal in pre-owned boats, full service and repair, with certified technicians in all engines, and fiberglass specialists. The Tackle Box offers fresh, local seafood, live bait, a tackle shop, and fish packing and shipping. They also offer a full-service U-Haul dealership. Spend time with Leon or Jenny for one-stop shopping at Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, 8210 River Road, Southport.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to the program whenever you want, however you want, by asking for Big Talker.
Sometimes you gotta wait a minute for the good stuff. Because I'm here to tell you that Keurig just cannot make a decent cup of coffee. A French press is required, and it takes a little bit longer than maybe this particular break was allowed. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're back. I have coffee. Life is good. French press. Way to go. Takes a minute. That's a cool little drop. I like that. So, now that we're back on the asylum on a Friday, and more than likely, probably gonna dump out a little bit early. I got some other stuff to work on, which case this might be a good time to mention and maybe even plug some of the new capabilities of the Big Talker Network. Production Services allows us now to appear, arrive, occur at your event and handle up to, 4 people at the table, right? 4 people speaking in live person with 2, 3 cameras, depending on your budget. You can get away with 1, but 2 or 3 look better. The more cameras, the more better. And of course, I can also do 2 remote guests. So if you have guests in other locations that cannot be there in person, but you would like to include them in the conversation, we can make that happen, as well as live call-in. So if you want people to be able to call in and say, hey, I got a question for you, we can do that. Yep, complete with graphics, phone numbers, lower thirds, the whole thing. We have a whole new streaming arm of the production capabilities of the Big Talker that we can now go on location. For samples of that work, you can go to Voice in the Pen on the Big Talker app and review some of the videos. You can go to the Big Talker website or the Voice in the Pen YouTube and Facebook pages. There are videos there that sample our work. The Big Talker sponsors the production for the Voice in the Pen every week. That's a 2-camera production. We also provide all the audio mixing. Waterline provides the venue. CB and I run all the cables and set up the little base camp there. And CB and Emily host the show, curate the performers, and handle all the switchover and conversations and silliness like that. We're training more people to run sound and operate cameras and help out with making the whole thing cooler and cooler. Because right now, most of it's, it's a augmented one-man band, if you will. So if it's a simple panel discussion, not a 4-piece band, I can certainly handle that by myself. But Voice and Pen is starting to grow into something rather large. I think we're going to have 5 or 6 people on stage at once next week. Right? Which is why we had this week off, so we can regroup, gather our energy, gird our loins, as they say, and prepare for the big show next week. We've had a lot of big shows. The standout recently was the hip-hop night. I was a little nervous about that because I wasn't sure how that fit into, the singer-songwriter genre, but it absolutely does, certainly after meeting some of these folks and hearing more clearly, right? Because you can't always understand it when somebody's blaring it in a truck next to you or in some sort of weird car with spinners or something, right? So hearing it live and being there helped me understand a little bit more of what they were chatting about. And in one of the cases, the guy he fully embraced and helped me understand the term spittin', right? Because I've seen them in memes, right? Usually with I think one of them had Hank Hill from King of the Hill looking at Bobby. Bobby's talking about something propane related, and you see Hank over there talking about, yo, this mofo spittin'. And this cat was throwing lines out, man. Wow. And the thing is, when they hit that quick, you have very little time to actually react, to respond, giggle, and roll. Because, I mean, some of them were just side-splitting. It was amazing. But that was just one more sample of the type of work we're doing. Next week is an In the Round, where we normally have 4 performers. I think we have a couple of duos in this one. And they each take turns playing a song of theirs. And we run through them 4 times, I think. And then we take a break, get another set of performers up there. And it's a neat way to be exposed to several songwriters in a short period of time and get a good overview of the type of material. And it makes for a fun evening. Not only is there a food truck there, but you also get to enjoy a cross-section of musical material. And again, not every beer is for everybody, right? Maybe you like a blonde, maybe the other likes a stout. Who knows? That's a personal preference. Same with the music. Out of the 4 or 5, 6 people that are up there, give it a minute. One of those you're going to like. I promise. And it may be that you like them all, and then one of them really stands out. Even more bonus, right? Because so far, we really haven't had any... we've had some newcomers that were very nervous and scared, and that may have affected their level of performance, but they need a place to, stub their toe, as it were, cut their teeth. And we're glad to provide that as a format as well. We can't help you not be scared, but we can help scare you so much that you realize you're not going to get hurt. Right? That's one of my favorite things when somebody's new to this industry or anything like that. It's like, all right, so we got ice packs and 3-0 silk and sutures if you need. So if you get too banged up during this process, just let me know and we'll call an ambulance. And of course, when they're over, they're usually laughing about it because it's like, wow, that didn't hurt at all. All right, so what were you afraid of? And usually their next performance is a lot more comfortable, right? They see me and they realize, okay, everything's under control. We got this. This is going to be fun. Just do your thing. We'll take care of the rest. You get comfortable. I'll come to you. That's sort of how I like to work it. And we do that same with your panel meetings. If you want to have an annual report and, remote in your various regional or district managers, we can do that for you. We can do it with live call-in. We can have Q&As. We can have all kinds of closed loop or open loop. It can be open to the public. It can be private. There's a number of ways that we can utilize the new production capabilities here at the Big Talker to benefit your company in ways you haven't even thought of yet. So, if you have any interest in any sort of live streaming, production, audio, or otherwise, because we can do it for a live event. I mean, as pointed out by the voice in the pen, we're mixing live music for the audience as well as the radio simulcast as well as the live stream with cameras. So we have extended capabilities that we can bring literally to your table. Set it up where you are. We have big cameras if you have the room. We have little cameras if you don't. Everything fits in a little tiny box. Actually, a couple of boxes. I roll them out. Set up a couple of little laptops there and go to town. I do need a pretty good dose of internet, though. I will say that. But we can provide pretty much everything you need. So your audience can hear what's going on. You can hear what's going on. Everything. Make it work for everyone. Support live music. I mean, we did the Carolina Pines Music Fest for, 2 or 3 years. Did a lot of the backyard. I don't know if you've been to the beer garden at the Waterline. Wonderful outdoor stage. I make that place sound good. So if you do have an audience, we can make them here, right? We can let them, you can do your rallies or whatever. It can be a live stream event. With a little bit more of a budget, we can even provide some of the Like if you're video conferencing remote people, you want to see them as part of the audience, we can provide the screens so that you can see them as well and the audience can see them as well, right? There's all kinds of options to help your company with its communications efforts. And if you have a public, like a PR campaign you want to launch and get into a Q&A and get into reaching the public, right? Everything is automatically categorized and recorded so that the live event can be viewed later. It can be done as a private event. It can be done as a premier event. It can be done as a paid event, a sponsored event, right? And we can help you with all of that material, whether you want to do one meeting or one panel or one discussion, or if you want to do a series, you want to do a recurring weekly event. We still have slots open to do live events here on the Big Talker. Right? You could do live call-ins at 3 in the afternoon. Well, no, not 3. Sorry, you could do it 4. Right after her tell from 3 to 4, you could do 4 to 5, 4 to 6. Pretty much throughout the week, I got live shows coming at 6. Wednesdays are bad because I'm doing voice in the pen. I'm usually gone by 4. I'm usually set up by 4. Who am I kidding? Because I want that show to go well. That's how I am with every show. I will show up at your place rather early. I will set everything up so that when your guests get there, they barely notice, right? I try to make sure that my little spot is cleaned up and everything looks all nice and neat so that even if you're hosting a wedding, I don't do weddings though, sorry. I'll do your bachelor party though, that'd be hot. Do your reception party, that'd be fun, right? There's a lot of things I'll do, but the wedding, no. No. There's too much stress involved with that. We're trying to have fun here. Even when we're serious, the work itself is kind of fun. And by expanding our capabilities, which is all I've been doing since November, is expanding the capabilities that we have over the internet. And we have the ability now to bring 3, depending on how much interaction you want, we can bring, 5 video sources, audio sources from everywhere, right? You can talk to up to 6 people. That's 2 on the phone and 4 by video conferencing. And still have enough room to have a live band, 4 people on stage. I say 4 because I already have 4 mics. If you give me more money, I'll buy more mics. That's not a problem. But usually 4 people at the table is more than enough to generate the chaos necessary for entertaining programming and content. And that's why you should, at least give us a call or send us an email. I wouldn't say give us a call because all you're going to do is blow up the phone on my desk. And it really doesn't go anywhere, except into the radio station, which only works when I'm on air. But definitely send us an email. We have the ability to expand your communication capabilities, and that's what we would like to do. Or at least I do. I mean, I enjoy the work, and I think I built a pretty nice portable system. It all fits in my little station wagon. I can show up and be set up in 30 to 45 minutes. I just need a little bit of space. I bring my own tables. I bring my own stuff, baby. I even bring my own Mountain Dew. Ain't gotta worry about nothing. Now, if it's a super long event, I would like lunch. But otherwise, yeah, I'm good. Plenty of references available upon request. Plenty of other samples, mostly post-production, but the live stream stuff, yeah, just go check out Voice in the Pen or All Things Brunswick I do by remote. They're in Bolivia. I am in Holly Ridge. Oh, holy cow. I think queuing up is the term my friend is looking for. They will be celebrating lunch at the DMV. Yeah, and the morning show actually ruined my trick with the DMV, and I had to get away with it once by running something else while I ran to the DMV. Right, they open at 8. I think I was there at 6:40, and there was one person ahead of me. Yep, I brought my earbuds and was watching me some YouTube videos. And then bang. That is insane, dude. Whenever you go to the DMV, anything like that, any bureaucratic environment. Now, if it's possible to find one in your county, but in another town, right, where they only have like 6 people, that's what I do. I go to Hampstead. Hampstead's got like less than the notorious one. There's 2 notorious. One down on Carolina Beach by Independence almost, and the other one is... what is that one? On Carr, almost to Market. Those are definitely all-day affairs. I mean, that's a BYO lunch thing. You might as well just bring a picnic. You're going to be there a minute. And since you're going to be there a minute, you could be using the Big Talker app on your Android or iOS device while you wait. And catch up on all the latest podcasts, news, and information and silly content that is known as the Asylum. Or some of the adult, more grown-up, mature content, such as Heard Tell, Consumer Choice Radio, All Things Brunswick, Guns, Politics, Freedom, Today's Homeowner, When Radio Was, etc., etc. Those have smart people talking about smart things. I know better, because I'll be in over my head in no time. And that's just not fair to you. To me, you're not that stupid. I'm not that smart. So meeting in the middle, I just come up with penis jokes. Or news stories. Oh my goodness. Hey, thanks for reminding me. So maybe we can close out with this one coming from Forbes. No. Nope. Nope. He thought he could get me in around it, and nope. Let's see how much of this I got away with. Ooh. I may have done it. Let's see what happens. All right. AI ethics perturbed by latest China-devised AI party loyalty mind reading facial recognition attestation that might foreshadow oppressive autonomous systems. Whew, this is going to take a minute to unpack. So it's a party loyalty mind reading facial recognition system. Are you loyal? Man, this is like some 1984 stuff, dude. No way. In theory, it might be possible to examine your overt deeds and ascertain whether loyalty is exhibited by your actions. Suppose, though, that instead there was an attempt made to read your mind and meanwhile scan your face to determine your loyalty quotient. This is eerily intrusive. You might readily decry. Sounds like one of those crazy sci-fi movies that envision a future dystopian society. Thankfully, you furtively whispered to yourself, we don't have anything like that today. Whoa. Hold your horses. Who's the author on this? Lance Elliott. Good job. News headlines are recently blaring that a research paper posted online in China date July 1, 2022 depicted a study that supposedly involved an assessment of people's brain waves and their facial expressions for purposes of computing whether they were loyal to the Chinese Communist Party. So, there you go. The future is getting closer and closer, at least in terms of attaining the dystopian society we have dreaded might someday arise. The research paper quickly disappeared from its online posted link. Presumably, the rapid scorn that quickly swept across the internet was enough to get the paper taken down, or Maybe the researchers just want to make a few wording changes and other innocuous corrections, aiming to do a reposting once they've had a more thorough chance to ensure that the I's are dotted and the T's are all crossed. We'll have to keep our eyes open to see if the paper gets a second life. The author is going to go ahead and do a deep dive into what we know about the research study and try to connect the dots about how this kind of AI-related work has significance for all of us, going far beyond the scope of seeing this as confined to one particular country. My coverage will be a bit more extensive. His coverage, the author's coverage, will be a bit more extensive than the other recent reporting on this newsworthy item, so please bear with me. The added emphasis, too, will be that there is a slew of vital AI ethics lessons that we can glean from the purported paper. For my own ongoing and extensive coverage of AI ethics and ethical AI, you can join the links in his article there on Forbes, just to name a few. Here's what's been mentioned about the research paper so far. Apparently, some volunteers were recruited to participate in an experiment regarding perceptions of the CCP. China Communist Party. Whether they were willing volunteers or more akin to goaded or maybe guided volunteers is unknown. We will assume for sake of discussion that they were agreeable to being a subject in the study. I bring this up not to simply be smarmy. Whenever an experiment is done involving human subjects, there are a plethora of generally accepted practices regarding the recruitment and immersion of such subjects into a research effort. This partially traces back to prior studies that often tricked or forced people to engage in an experiment, at times leading to adverse psychological repercussions or even physical harm for those participants. The scientific community has tried mightily to curtail those types of insidious studies and require that all sorts of disclosures and warnings be provided to those sought for inclusion in human-related studies. To clarify, not everyone abides by such prudent and conscientious guidelines. Imagine that. Moving on. There were reportedly 43 subjects, and they were said to be members of China's Communist Party. Keep in mind that the selection of subjects for an experiment is quite crucial to the experiment and also must be taken into account concerning any conclusions that you might try to reach afterward about the results of the experiment. That is, suppose I want to do an experiment about how people perceive the acclaimed Star Wars series. If I pre-select subjects that all resoundingly hate Star Wars, how can such people exist? And I show them Star Wars video clips, the odds are that they are probably going to say that they still dislike Star Wars. Based on this pseudoscientific experiments, perhaps I sneakily claim that people, in general, really hate Star Wars, which was proven, wink wink, in my carefully prepared research setting. You might not know that I had rigged the roulette wheel, as it were, by pre-selecting the subjects that I anticipated would produce my surreptitiously desired results. Of course, I had intentionally instead recruited people that loved Star Wars and were zealous avid fans. The chances are they would report as being ecstatic about watching those Star Wars clips. Again, any conclusions reached about how people in general react to Star Wars would be tempered by the pre-selected set of subjects chosen for the effort. The CCP-focused study seemingly had the subjects sit in front of a kiosk-like video display and read various articles about the policies and accomplishments of the CCP. This is probably the considered experimental treatment that the subjects are being exposed to. When planning out an experiment, you usually come up with an experimental factor or aspect that you want to see if it impacts the participants. The research question apparently being explored was whether the act of reviewing these materials would have any impact on the subjects in terms of increasing, decreasing, or being neutral as to their subsequent impressions of the CCP. In a classic null hypothesis, you arrange such a study to state that the materials consumed have no impact on the subsequent impressions expressed by the subject. Once you've done a before and after comparison of their viewpoints about the CCP, you would statistically try to see whether there was a statistically significant detection of a change in their impressions. It could be that before and after are not statistically different, therefore you might reasonably tentatively conclude that for this particular study, the displayed materials, the experimental treatment, did not seem to make a difference in their impressions. On the other hand, if there was a statistically valid difference, you would look to see whether the after was greater than the before, allowing you to gingerly suggest that the materials boosted their impressions, and on the other side of the coin, if the after was less than the before, this might imply that the materials lessened or lowered their impressions. You're getting a schooling on the scientific method, by the way. There are a lot of nagging loose ends that would need to be dealt with in such a study. For example, we usually want to have a so-called control group that we can compare to those that received the experimental treatment. Here's why. Suppose that the act of sitting in front of a kiosk to read materials was the true basis for why impressions were changed. It could be that the nature of the materials consumed is roughly immaterial to the impression impact. Merely sitting and reading anything, such as the latest stories about cats that do funny things, alone might do the trick. We might therefore arrange to have some subjects be in our control group that is exposed to some other materials to read other than CCP policies and attainments materials. We don't know if that was done in this instance. No one seems to have mentioned this facet yet. I realize you are by now getting antsy about the immediate explosive part of the study. We shall move expeditiously into that portion. How might we detect whether the subjects in this experiment responded to or altered their impressions as a result of reading the displayed materials? A customary means would be to ask them. You would have beforehand administered perhaps a questionnaire that asks them their impressions of the CCP. Then, following the exposure to the experimental treatment, as in the reading of materials being displayed, we could administer another questionnaire. The answers given by the subjects on a before and after basis might then be compared. If we were also using a control group, we would assume that the control group answers would not substantively change from the before to the after, under the belief that looking at stories about frolicking cats ought to not have impacted their CCP impressions. This act of asking the subjects for their impressions is not necessarily as straightforward as it might seem. Suppose that the subjects in the experiment get a sense or overall drift that you are wanting them to respond to the experimental treatment in a particular manner. In that case, they might purposely overstate their actions in the after part of the experimental administration. You've certainly seen this happen. If I'm doing a taste test for a new soda coming onto the market, I might act like I wildly relished the soda, doing so in hopes of maybe getting featured in an advertisement by the soda maker and getting my richly deserved 15 minutes of fame. The gist is that merely asking people their opinion is not a surefire means of gauging changes. It is one approach. Other approaches could and are often undertaken. How did this particular study opt to gauge the reactions of their subjects? Apparently, at least two methods were used. One method consisted of doing a facial scan and using AI-based facial recognition software to assess the reactions of the subjects. The other method was reportedly some form of brainwave scanning. It hasn't been as yet reported as to what type of brainwave scanning devices were used, nor what kind of AI-based brainwave analysis software was employed. Various reporting has indicated that the study stated this about the nature of the experiment. Quote, on one hand, it can judge how party members have accepted thought and political education, unquote. And the study supposedly also mentioned this too, quote, on the other hand, it will provide real data for thought and political education so it can be improved and enriched, end quote. The research study was attributed to being performed under the auspices of China's Hefei Comprehensive National Science Center media report suggested the study alluded to a claim that the facial recognition scans and the brainwave scans were able to aid in detecting that the after impressions were boosted about the CCP. I'd like to note for you that without being able to directly review the systems utilized and examined closely by research paper, we do not know the particulars of how those AI-based systems were exactly used. But the fact that they're using verification through facial recognition is unimaginable. And we may want to hold on to this one for a minute because time to take a break, and we will pick you guys up on Monday, right? Because you are on the Big Talker. And this is the end of the Asylum for the week. So with that in mind, please go to the bigtalker.live website, bigtalker.live website. Download the app for Android and iOS devices. Send us an email with any comments, questions, concerns, critiques, or compliments you may have. We can't improve without your feedback, and we'd really appreciate it. So, take your time getting there, but hurry back, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you on Monday. You're tuned in to the Big Talker Network, Wilmington, North Carolina's premier internet station for news and talk radio programming. Find us online at bigtalker.live.
I am State Farm Agent Rob